talk about kind of what you've been doing instead of before getting into all the Minnesota music stuff.
Yep.
You're well known for being on the Wiseman show, which I kind of like. I was like, one day I was like, I haven't seen a Wiseman show video in a while, or like a Instagram post or whatever. And then I looked, and there was no Wiseman show Instagram anymore, and I was kind of confused, and that's when I hit you up a while ago about let's do an interview, kind of talk about it. But then more and more has happened, so I'm glad we kind of waited, honestly.
Yeah, that's a good timing.
Yeah, but so what was like? How did that end, and how did that what was the process of that?
All right, man, I'm gonna be real with you, all the way real. And I did talk about this in another interview that hasn't been released, so I guess you'll get the exclusive. But basically, it's a weird answer just because things are still very, very strange. But basically, what happened is the new year started, and my wife told me that she didn't want to be together anymore.
Okay.
So, as you know, we got 4 kids, we got a house, we've been together for almost a decade. So, and it came as a surprise. Like, I didn't know that was happening. I didn't know that she was unhappy. I didn't know any of that. So, basically, going through a divorce. That's really what happened. Is it caught me way off guard, and ultimately, I realized throughout the process of this that a big contributor to that was the Wiseman show. Because for anybody that doesn't really know, and probably nobody knows, we weren't making money off the show.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it was costing us money. So I was putting in probably 60 hours a week on the show.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like with all the preparing for the episodes and then all the post production, I was putting in way too much time, and basically like it consumed me because I believed in it so much. And I don't want to take anything away from it. I did believe in it. And like, I'm not saying that I don't believe in it now, but it consumed me, bro. It really consumed me. And like, nobody knows this. I've told a few people this, and I said it in that interview that hasn't come out yet, but probably for the last 2.5 years of the show, I hated it. I hated it. I hit it. I hit it well. But I hated it. I despised the show. I hated going there every Tuesday night to record. Was just like, it just started to feel like a chore. It started to feel like a job. And it started to make me dislike music. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't listening to the music anymore because I like music. And funny enough, like, that's when I really primarily started listening to R&B. I was like, I don't really like listening to rap anymore because everything rap to me was like
just getting old, stale.
Job, man. It's like, this is a job. It was just,
I feel that, yeah.
And and I can't blame Joe for being upset or being caught off guard because I didn't tell him this. I didn't tell anybody this shit. It was just for me. It was like, grind it out, stick it out, hate it for now. Your passion and your love for it will come back.
It'll pay off.
It'll pay off. You got to keep going, keep going, keep going. And then I realized, when this happened, it was like, I got way more important shit to deal with. I'm fighting for my life here. I'm fighting for my family. Like, the show just was like, it just took a back seat. That was it. I just couldn't do it anymore. It was like, I even tried. Like, I tried to do it. We recorded a couple episodes after this event in my life. We have 2 or 3 episodes that we never released because I didn't do the post edits. So, we have an interview with Prince Riley that never came out. We have an interview with Nerdy that never came out. I think there's one more. I can't remember, but yeah. And actually, the night that I decided to call it a day was the night we had Nerdy on, and I actually called him as he was sitting down at the chair with Joe to just let him know, like, I'm not coming.
Oh, so it was just Joe and Nerdy on camera, and then you were gonna edit it, type thing.
Yep. But that was the night that I just knew, like, I can't do this shit no more. I can't do it. And it's nothing personal against Joe or against any. I think he took it personal, and probably maybe still takes it personal. But it's nothing against him at all. It was just like, this is my life, bro. It's my family.
Yeah.
Like, everything. The rug was
Yeah.
pulled out from under me. Like, I got to figure this shit out. And so, for the last 10 months, I've been trying to figure it out, and it's been messy, bro. I won't divulge too many more details, but it's been real fucking messy, and it's probably still gonna get more messy.
So I don't remember or not, but is like the YouTube channel still up?
Yeah,
with all the videos, because I seen the Instagram got at least archived, right?
So the Instagram I switched over to me.
Oh, okay.
So if you go follow at Jake Faircloth 1 on Instagram, that is the old Wiseman page.
And I
did archive all the posts. So all the posts that we had, they still exist.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the heart to just throw them all
away. No.
I had to keep them all.
Yeah.
And yes, the episodes are all still up on YouTube. I think they're off of all the other streaming services because once you stop paying your SoundCloud bill, the RSS feed dies, and then they take them all down.
Your monthly payments or yearly payments.
So they might still be on Spotify. Actually, I think they are still on Spotify.
It should be because you don't have to pay for that.
Yeah, I think they're still on Spotify, and like, so I mean, yeah, you can go back and still listen to the episodes, and we did 227 episodes, so, and they're still good. So go back and listen. But yeah, the Wiseman Show is dead. It's done, man.
Because it was, and I think like I really loved your guys' show or whatever. Like you guys definitely did it very well. It definitely. The scene was just the Minneapolis or Minnesota music scene in general is just so hard to even impress with the best of the best.
It's true.
Like it's just hard to impress. Like you could have the best artist with the best interview. They just released the best album, and it's just not gonna pay off like it would in different markets.
It's true.
So like I can feel that, like, because like even with us, we don't really make money off our YouTube videos too much unless we're doing like the live streams where we get donations, or like because our podcasts still aren't doing too well.
Yeah.
So it's like we're kind of in that grind phase where it's like we have a lot of alleys that are paying off, but like the podcast, I love doing them, but those are almost some of the videos that don't get the most views, except for, I get like someone like Jay Down on, and like, his fans are like really wondering what he's talking about, but most of them it's just like 200 views, 300 views, and it's like, it's better than zero, but it's hard. How did the Patreon thing go for you?
So the Patreon thing, that I think probably people didn't, I think it probably pissed people off, to be honest. I don't know if it did or not, but like, that was a ditch effort by me. That was me
trying to be like, we have to get something out of this.
Something's got to happen here.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting here, working part-time and doing this, really the show full-time with mandatory overtime.
Yeah.
My wife's working her ass off. We got the 4 kids, dogs, chickens. We got the whole shit. And something had to suffer. You know what I mean? So like I had to take away from somewhere, and unfortunately I was taken away from home. Didn't realize it was happening until after it was too late, really. But the Patreon was just me, like, it was like, man, and it seemed timely because, like Joe Budden was moving to Patreon, Flagrant 2 was really popping on Patreon. Like, it seemed like some of the bigger podcasts were having success on Patreon.
At least with like doing something on Patreon, like still continuing somewhat on the YouTube, but having something that you can only see on the Patreon.
Right.
And I liked how you guys did it where you could get a shirt or whatever if you ordered a certain amount of monthly subscription. Because I'm all for the Patreon thing. I think it's a great way for creators to actually directly support the fans to support the creators directly, because you know where the money's going. When you're watching YouTube videos, like you could get paid off of them, but it's not like you're directly like donating or giving to the brand you believe in.
It was a major risk, and to be honest, like, as much as I appreciate everybody that subscribed, I think there's still some people subscribed that just haven't canceled their subscription, but I should probably check that.
Might be some money sitting in the
there
balance.
might be, but it was a risk, and it ultimately it didn't pay off. But the other thing about it was it felt like a test too. Like, let's find out who really, like, what's our
what reach is really looking like, not just like someone that watched a video for a couple minutes and then tuned out and you get a view for it.
And to be honest, like, the reach wasn't there. Like, it wasn't there, and I think part of the problem that we ran into, that anybody's going to run into that tries to do this, is when you're an interview-based podcast, the problem is now you're asking the person that you interviewed to ask their fan base to spend money just to watch an interview with them. To watch
your interview.
And
if they only want to watch your interview.
And that's not a comfortable position to put people in, you know what I mean? Like, it's really hard to be like, hey, Prince Riley, tell your fans to subscribe. Like, dog, I'm trying to get people to subscribe to my shit. I'm trying to get people to spin my music on Spotify. Like, I'm not trying to go ask them to spend money on your shit just so they can see an interview with me. And that's understandable. Why would they? If they were getting a cut, but like, we didn't have anything to cut. Yeah. So that's part of the problem. And I think that podcasts that don't have guests can really pull that off. So I think, there's a method to it that I think you could do, but I probably won't ever try it again. Maybe someday.
Yeah. So then you had some downtime, because now, for everybody that didn't know, now you're with Live on Lake Street, doing interviews with them. But there was some downtime in between the Wiseman show and then into what you're doing now. And I just seen you're posting a lot of like mainstream media, and it seemed to be clicking, which is like it's like an eye opener. Like, you post the exact same stuff about like the Minnesota scene,
Yeah.
and it gets no likes, no views,
That's
or
crazy,
very
yeah.
minimal, and then you just start posting stuff about Drake or Thug or whoever that
Yeah.
you're just taking from another source or
Yeah.
whatever, and it's just like
Yeah.
people eat that up and love it.
Moves the meter. It's crazy. What's funny is, I don't for anybody that was paying attention at the time, that's how I built a lot of our fan base with the Wiseman Show.
Mhm.
I did that
Mixing in
at
some
the start.
mainstream media
Yeah,
instead of only local media.
So at the very start, that's how I built like our Instagram following. That's where it came from.
Mhm.
Really, it was from that. So I'm like, well, I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do yet. I was in talks about the Live on Lake Street thing, but I also was thinking I would start my own thing, which I did, and we could talk about that too. But I was like, I got to start creating,
Building your brand,
generating
yourself.
something again.